Hey everybody, it's GomletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today I'll be playing another Tinkerer's Cube draft, so without further ado, let's check out what we have in pack 1 to pick 1 here. So one of the cards that I think is a really powerful finisher in this format is Marionette Master. This is essentially a 6-mana 4/5, and whenever an artifact you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, target opponent loses life equal to its power. So they lose 4 life if you fabricated all the counters onto the Marionette Master. There's a lot of treasure production in this Tinkerer's Cube. There's a lot of blood token production in this cube, and a lot of clue token production in this cube. So those three kind of cards can synergize really well with the Marionette Master and find a quick victory off dropping this on the board. The quickest way, obviously, is to drop this on the board with extra treasure tokens, since you don't even have to spend mana to sack those, but there are a lot of ways to end your opponent real quick with the Marionette Master. So I think I'm going to roll with Marionette Master here. As you can see, Foul Play and Hard Evidence are a couple ways to make those clue tokens that work really well with the Marionette Master. But yeah, there's tons of treasures and stuff. So I think this is just a super powerful card. And as you can see here in pack 1, pick 2, we are immediately past a card that'll work really well with it. The Forsworn Paladin, a 1-mana 1/1 menace. For 2 mana, we can tap it, pay life, and get a treasure token. This can just help us accumulate our hoard of gold that we can use to end our opponent with Marionette Master. So Forsworn Paladin, pretty sweet pickup to follow up the Marionette Master. Other fun cards in here. Gnarled Professor is just a great deal in general. Key to the City is really good in the discard deck, because you can discard a card and then spend 2 when this becomes untapped to draw a card. Of course, it's really good at making big things unblockable. Decent removal here in red, but yeah, it'll be the Forsworn Paladin for me. Easily the best follow-up for a Marionette Master. Now we are in pick 3. I don't see any treasure token production here, but we do have Angel of Invention, which is another card that can work really well with the Marionette Master, and it's just a great fabricate card in general. With this one, you're pretty much always going to make those servo tokens. This one being a 5-mana 2/1 Flying Vigilance lifelink that comes with 2 1/1 servos and gives your whole board +1/+1. So really powerful card. If we want to just stick to black, Fangbearer Knight's a pretty solid card here. You can draw a card, lose a life, and then just pop out a little 1/1 Death Toucher when you need it. First Sphere Gargantua is a great card with the blood tokens that are in this cube. You can discard this and then unearth it. When you unearth it for 3, you bring it to the board for only 3 mana as a 5/4 haste from your graveyard. Draw a card, lose a life, and then exile it during the end step. So First Sphere Gargantua is another pretty solid card. I actually think I like that a little better than Fangbearer Knight here if we just want to take a black card. But I think it's Angel of Invention, First Sphere Gargantua, maybe Blossom Prancer. That's another pretty good deal. I'm actually going to go the First Sphere Gargantua. Let's just stick to mono black for now. See if we can just cut people out of the color on our left. Now we've got a blue-black dual land, which is great if we start picking up some of those discard synergy cards like Merfolk Looter that lets us draw on discard, or Drake Haven, that kind of stuff. Try to push into that strategy with our First Sphere Gargantua, and that is one of the better strategies in the blue-black color pair. Otherwise, we could take a Wrath effect. There are very few Wrath effects in this cube, so an 8-mana Wrath effect is actually not that wildly expensive because of just how infrequent Wraths do show up. I suppose Briarbridge Tracker does work with Marionette Master. It gives us that clue token. We could just be like a green-black beat-em-up sort of deck with Marionette Master as a token finisher in a way. Yeah, I really don't love Farika's Spawn, even in this cube. That's super synergy based. It feels very slow. I'll take Briarbridge Tracker. It's one of the strongest cards in the pack. Maybe push to green-black here. Some green-black duels for sure. Woodland Champion, great with token production. We already have treasure tokens and clue tokens. Every card we have except Gargantua can produce tokens, which is good with Woodland Champion. Timeless Witness is just a great recursion spell. 4 mana for a 2/1, bring something back from your grave to hand, and you can eternalize it later. Or there's the Deck of Many Things, which is a pretty fun kind of win condition, although quite a random one. Bone Shards is fine, just because there's not a lot of removal. I think I want Timeless Witness here. I want to play just a really grind out value sort of deck, I think, today. Just Golgari, Gold Garbage, just trash value. Wow, there's not much going on in this pack, is there? There's a Fractal Summoning. If we pick up any Learn spells, we can grab a big XX off of them, I guess. We could take Sanctum of Fruitful Harvest, although this is one of the weakest shrines, I think. It does help if you want to be splashing multiple colors, and this will be a nice pickup if we start seeing a bunch of shrines. Then we can attempt to kind of do that thing. Yeah, maybe the Sanctum. I really am not a big fan of the Learn spells and Lesson spells in this cube. Just don't really tend to run them. That being said, Containment Breach is main deckable. Run Containment Breach in your main deck. There's way too many good artifacts and enchantments in this cube. So this is just a slightly more expensive Naturalize. Just main deck it. Unless you have a bunch of Learn spells, then that one I'm actually kind of a fan of. So I realize I just completely just went on a whole different rung from what I was saying before about the Learn and Lesson spells. But that's just because I like Naturalizes in this cube. And for the same reason, I'm going to go for Kappa Wrecker over Blood Curdle here, just because, again, I really like Naturalizes in this cube. And we do have a Forsworn Paladin, which will help ninjutsu it out. But other than that, it'll be a little hard to get that to connect. That could be a bit of an issue. Fabled Passage is going to be great mana fixing. Lambent of Death's Vigil is a great sack outlet, but green-black isn't really about sack outlets. That's more of a black-red thing, or even black-white for the life drain. Sir Farron's pretty hard to cast. Grim Dancer's a little hard to cast. I think I like Grim Dancer better, because a double black card on turn 3 is easier than a double green card turn 2, just by a tiny bit. Plus, this card is also just really powerful. And mana fixing is for cowards today. Now we take a big old Dreadhound, another big finisher. Whenever a creature dies or is put into a graveyard from a library, each opponent loses a life. And you mill 3 when you play this. This is a pretty good way to find a way to deal damage to your opponent, even if your creatures aren't getting in at all anymore. Now we'll start just scooping up some random mana fixing, in case we get pushed into blue here. Although Foulmire Knight's a decent little random value spell, kind of like what we're going for, and it's another cheap card to help get that Kappa Wrecker ninjutsu'd out early, so I'm actually going to go Foulmire Knight over that second green-blue duel. We get a green-black duel here. Somebody's going to get a last pick the deck of many things, and I'll be sad if nobody runs it, because it is a fun kind of random card. Ooh, alright, well, we see one of my favorite cards in the cube in this pack, an incredibly powerful card just all by its lonesome. The Three Weird Sisters, also known as Henrika Domnathi. 4 mana, 1/3 flyer. You get to have each player sack a creature. You get to draw a card, lose life. Then you get to spit out a 3/4 flying Death Touch lifelink. Vampire Nighthawk's big cousin. A really super strong card. Incredibly good stuff. Other than that, Overgrown Tomb would be a big one. Nice mana fixing. We can probably wheel that, though. And then maybe like Mire Triton, we've got a bit of graveyard recursion. This would be good with like Farrakhan's Spawn and Timeless Witness. Those can both come back from the grave, as well as First Sphere Gargantua. So Mire Triton would be fine in our deck. Followed by Fellstinger would be a little worse than Mire Triton, but it is certainly a good card if you have some tokens to exploit. And then finally, last... I was going to say last but not least, but this one is the least, at least for our deck, would be Parallel Lives, which is a powerful card, but you do really need a lot of synergy for it to be good. So what do we have now? Love me a Prosperous Innkeeper here. 2 mana for a 1/1, and we get a treasure token. That's going to be really good with, again, Marionette Master. It's going to mana fix us quite well. We're going to gain life every time we're dropping creatures down. Prosperous Innkeeper is just a great card in general, but Solemn Simulacrum is another great card. Ramps us up. We have 3 6-drops already. A Timeless Witness costs 7 mana to eternalize from the grave. Farrakhan's Spawn costs 6 mana to escape. We have a lot of late game plays, so a permanent mana ramp instead of just one temporary treasure token is pretty big out of the Solemn Simulacrum. So that's a sweet card. Lord of Extinction is obviously just going to be a really big dork. It's not that great because it is just a big dork. It can get chump blocked easily, so your opponent has a lot of time to draw the removal for it. But it is fun. And then there's Fynn, which is really fun draft around if you pick up a lot of Death Touchers, which we've got a few already. We're probably supposed to just go Solemn Simulacrum here, but I'm going to go Fynn and do a bit of a Death Touch tribal thing over here. We already have Foulmire Knight, Fynn the Fangbearer, Kappa Wrecker, and Grim Dancer. We have 4 Death Touchers already. Even Henrika Domnathi being a Death Toucher in the sky. So we can try to finish some people off with Finn's poison counter ability. And here we see another Death Toucher, Goshintai of Hidden Cruelty, plus we have that Sanctum of Fruitful Harvest, meaning we have 2 shrines as well. So yeah, Golgari Death Touch maybe here. Another Death Toucher, Yuan-Ti Fangblade. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, venture into the dungeon. Other than that, a 3 mana 2/2 Death Toucher. This one's pretty weak, so I'm really drafting for synergy if I take this right now. We might be able to hope to wheel this. There's no way we wheel the contract killing, and this does synergize with our other cards well as being one of our few removal spells. Almost definitely supposed to take contract killing here. So it'll be our only removal spell. Yeah, I'm sorry, Yuan-Ti Fangblade. I know we have Fynn, but you need to have some removal when you can get it. Ooh, Reaper's Talisman can turn anything we equip into a Death Toucher. That's pretty big, but there's another removal spell with Clear Shot. We'll do the classic musician thing of like one for them and one for me. We did the one contract killing for doing what we're supposed to do. This one's for me. We're going to take Reaper's Talisman this time. But let it be known, we could have had a pretty sweet, just standard Golgari value pile here with a good amount of removal, nice consistent mid-range deck. I've just decided to go a little deeper, a little on the deep end towards the Death Touch deck. See if it'll pop off for us. Forsaken Crossroads is just Evolving Wilds, right? Yeah, choose a color, scry 1 when it comes into play as well. It's an Evolving Wilds that scries 1, and if you're on the draw, it comes into play untapped. That's pretty sick. I think I just like that here. I mean, I guess there's Smell Fear, but it's a fight spell, not a bite spell. Those are always such a hard sell nowadays as removal. I like Undead Butler. That's a nice little value spell. Mill yourself 3, so great again with our graveyard synergies, and then when it dies, return any creature from our grave to our hand. Irresistible Prey would be fine in a deck with a ton of Death Touch, though. That's kind of cute. But I'll go Undead Butler. What are we on now? Maybe Brambleworm, because it does have a graveyard ability. It's definitely not Goldvein pick. Maybe it's Warlock class? Miniature little draw spell here, and eventually it's a big bunch of damage to our opponent. I don't know, I'll just take Brambleworm, I think. We do wield the Parallel Lives and the Mire Triton. I think I prefer the Mire Triton. We've got our Death Touch theme going on. We've got a little bit of graveyard synergies going on as well. This is going to help with both of those. All right, we do get the Lord of Extinction, although again, as I said before, it's not that impressive. Wow, Royal Scions is actually really, really good in this cube, in my opinion. There's a lot of cards that care about drawing 2 cards per turn. There's cards that care about discarding. Cards like Drakehaven and Ironcrag Pyromancer are terrifying with that card. Even Seasoned Pyromancer are super sweet, so some really good like blue-red stuff still in these packs here. I'm not going to go dungeon map, am I? No, but I'm not going to play any of this. I guess we have a breeding pool. We can get another green-blue duel just in case. We do get that Yuan-Ti Fangblade wheeled to us nice and late. All right, so we still get to do that. And we get a Blood Fountain. That is not unplayable at all. It's just some recursion that comes with a blood token. It's still probably going to be one of our first cuts, but it's not useless at all. I like... Ooh, almost spilled my drink all over the floor. I like Gilded Goose here. Plus, it's Easter on the day of recording, so that's just flavorful. Got those Easter eggs. I guess they're like bunny eggs. Bunnies... I don't know why that's a thing, how that became a thing. I guess because it's all about birth and all that, nativity or whatever. Whatever, let's stop and let's just take this Gilded Goose. I like the ramp on it. Old Bretstein's like fun and all, but not the craziest thing ever. We're not like super graveyard synergy. We're actually more down the Death Touch synergy path than we are the graveyard synergy path. This pack doesn't have anything for us, does it? It's got another egg for Easter, or Renata Called to the Hunt. But we don't actually have that many green creatures, so her devotion is not going to be insane, but she does put a counter on any of your creatures, not just your green creatures, so that's pretty big. There's Falconwrath Noble, but we don't have that many creatures. There's no like creature tokens in here. I guess we could try to splash in a white shrine here. But I don't think I want to. I mean, Sanctum helps splash, and we have some treasure tokens. Maybe that's the most fun, is the white shrine out of everything in that pack. Oop, another Death Toucher, Liliana's Reaver, but I do really like Wilt in this cube. I love me my Naturalizes, and this is one that can cycle if your opponent happens to not be playing artifacts or enchantments, which doesn't happen often. But when it does, it is really nice to have a backup plan. Yeah, Wilt or Liliana's Reaver here. Hopefully the jury is still out on the naturalized cards and other players don't value them as highly as me, and I can just pick up this Liliana's Reaver and wheel the Wilt. That would be very cool. Hooded Blightfang, the other Death Touch Tribal card. Death Touch Tribal has went all the way together here. 3 mana, 1/4. Whenever a creature control with Death Touch attacks, each opponent loses life and you gain a life. And our Death Touchers can Death Touch Planeswalkers too. That is just exactly what we want. We've got almost every Death Touch card in the cube, I think. Ooh, and Masked Vandal is actually probably better main deckable artifact and removal hate than Wilt even. Very similar to the Cap Attack Wrecker. Exile an artifact or enchantment. This one just when it enters the board, as long as we exile a card from our grave, that card is sweet. Maze Mind Tome's great. Destiny Spinner's great. Pointed Discussion is great, but here I go again, overvaluing my naturalizes. All right, now we've got some removal, which we don't have a lot of, like Twisted Embrace, although there's another Death Toucher, Witch of the Moors, but that cares about gaining life, and we don't have that much life gain, do we? Any life gain? We got 1, 2... Got maybe like 3 ways to gain life. I don't think Witch of the Moors is going to pop off that often. I'm going to take another removal spell here, unfortunately, over the card that does say Death Touch, but it's also a 5 mana Death Toucher, and the card isn't really about the Death Touch, it's more about the recursion. This doesn't Death Touch, but it's a fine value play. Same with the Pup or the Sprout. I think I like Blood Mage best. Most flexible of the cards. I feel like I'm not going to run this Goshintai of Shared Purpose. We already got a lot going on in the deck, and I do think I'd prefer the primary focus to be the Death Touch. Old Rutstein or Grizzly Ritual? Grizzly Ritual's a lot of mana. But I also have 2 removal spells right now, I think. Just get Grizzly Ritual. This is all a big old no. We did wheel the Wilt, but now I have Masked Vandal and Cap Attack Wrecker. Feel like I really don't need it. There's nothing else here I even really want to play, I don't think. I don't know, I'll just play a Wilt. We'll be the triple naturalized deck, and we're going to be really good against Shrine decks, and really good against, like, Artifact decks. There's not a lot of Artifact decks in here, but there's a lot of Shrine decks, and there's a lot of powerful enchantments like Drake Haven and Parallel Lives and stuff. It's just really nice to have the removal for. I need to cut so many cards. Probably just cut our big stuff. Our big goofy dorks. Maybe you just cut the Grizzly Ritual here. Am I cutting the Sanctum of Fruitful Harvest as well, if I'm just doing 2 colors? Probably, but we can keep Goshintai just because it has Death Touch. I don't know, let's go ahead and build the deck here. Alright, here we are with the completed Golgari Death Touch deck. It's mainly Golgari Death Touch here. We've got a little bit of self-mill and graveyard recursion. We have our Mire Triton here milling us a little bit, the Undead Butler milling us a bit. When it hits the board, the Butler, of course, works as the built-in graveyard recursion when it dies, picking something up. But we also have First Sphere Gargantua being able to unearth from the grave, Timeless Witness being able to eternalize from the grave, and being able to pick up a card from our graveyard when it hits the battlefield. And then we have Blood Fountain as well to pick up some stuff from the grave. So the reason I'm keeping Blood Fountain in here is because with such a focus on Death Touch, we have a couple cards that are really important. We would really like not to get milled, like Fynn the Fangbearer and Hooded Blightfang. These are going to be really big key cards for us, so we're going to be really sad if we mill them. So by having a few ways to recur them, Timeless Witness, Blood Fountain, and Undead Butler, it's going to let us hit them more consistently by self-milling, rather than sometimes just getting got by having them getting self-milled instead of drawn. So that seems like a pretty fun way to go. We've got a couple removal spells here, Contract, Killing, and Twisted Embrace. I did end up cutting the really expensive card, and mostly just a bunch of expensive cards from the deck. We are still playing 17 lands because we can use our extra mana on various Eternalize abilities, Clue tokens, stuff like that. We've got a little bit of mana sinks in that sense. You know, the mana sink from Forsworn Paladin, the blood tokens from Blood Fountain, and Eternalize effects and stuff to spend our mana on. I don't think this is a 16 land deck because we really want to hit 4 mana turn 4. Really want to make it up there. So yeah, that's pretty much the deck. One quick peek at something before we head into the gameplay. This is what happens when I search for specifically cards that say Death Touch in our deck. We have 12. We have Forsworn Paladin, Foulmire Knight, the Reaper's Talisman that gives anything Death Touch. And then when you look higher on the curve, that's 9 more Death Touch creatures. So 11 Death Touch creatures and 1 Talisman to give our other creatures Death Touch as well. So almost everything is potentially just going to be a Death Toucher. This should be a fun time. This is going to be a weird deck. I have no idea how well it's going to work, but let's hope for the best. Fingers crossed as we head into the gameplay here. All right, here we are with the exact kind of curve we're looking for. Death Touch into Death Touch into Death Touch. Let's go. Just need to get a Fynn or a Hooded Blightfang. We'll really have things going. Eye Twitch from our opponent, turn 1. That's really good against a 2-1. It's going to make our Mire Triton look quite bad here. We mill our Twisted Embrace and a land and gain a couple life. Unfortunate to hit that Embrace since we only have a couple removal spells in here. There's an Oni Cult Anvil from our opponent. So we'll keep a tab on how good our Naturalize effects would be. So far we're hitting an Oni Cult Anvil. That seems pretty great. Happy to have a deck chock full of Naturalizes against an Oni Cult Anvil. So we've got the Hooded Blightfang. I could drop it down right now, get 1 extra damage here, but I'd rather play the 3 power creature and play that on turn 4, I think. We'll go Menace Death Touch here, I think. We're definitely getting Death Touch. That's a given every time. But I think I'd rather have Menace, force them to double block. We don't know what they're playing here. Yeah, Lifelink could be big. They are Rakdos. That's an aggressive color pair. Sure. Death Touch Lifelink. We'll go for it. I was just thinking, they're Rakdos, so they're probably playing a lot of little expendable creatures like Eye Twitch, where if they're going to block Grim Dancer, it's likely to be a double block anyway. You know, block with an Eye Twitch and some kind of 2-2 or something, to where Menace isn't really giving us any value. But Lifelink certainly is. Could drop Ghost Shintai if hitting Cruelty, but if I drop it next turn and hold the 1 mana up, I can kill the Eye Twitch in their end steps. So I'd rather just Hooded Blightfang right now. I really don't want to trade my Mire Triton into that Eye Twitch. Abrade the Grim Dancer. Rude as ever, opponent. Not supposed to have removal in this cube? Removal at this time of day in this economy? Solemn Simulacrum from our opponent. The sad robot that finds its way into every deck. Ooh, Foulmire Knight. Let's just blow up this Eye Twitch so that we can get chipping in with our Mire Triton. And they're going to go ahead and learn their lesson, but hopefully it's not a good one. You know, I guess even if we drop this Ghost Shintai, our Mire Triton's going to have a hard time because it's still going to just trade into like Solemn Simulacrum and let them draw a card. Which isn't the best deal in the world. Let's see what lessons they have in their sideboard. Environmental Sciences. Okay, that's pretty fine. I'll sack the Simulacrum to just draw a card and get a 1-1 in the main phase. Pretty cool with that. Now our 2-2 Death Toucher might be able to attack in well if they just have like a 1-1 and a 4-4 or something. Super cool to send in a 2-2 Death Touch. Banishing Slash. Destroy our Hooded Blightfang. Our Wombo combo is gone. That ain't Falco. Fireblade Charger. Fireblade Charger is awful for us. That is horrific. Because we blow that up with Goshintai and they still just kill my Triton. We're probably going to go ahead and kill something in their end step. Kill the 1/1 in their end step so they can't just keep Oni Colt Anvil looping the construct token. I guess if I attack with Mire Triton now, they trade into Fireblade Charger and just do a damage to us. Because if they trade there, then Goshintai just kills Fireblade Charger. We've dealt with both creatures that way. Sure. Just get this Fireblade Charger out of here before we play our Foulmire Knight at least, so they can't 2-for-1 us with the Charger. Just make it a 1-for-1. Alright. We're going to go ahead and do the damage to us, get the Fireblade Charger off board. We will... Oh, we do have mana for Fynn here. So we'll play Fynn and get rid of the construct now. Cool. Now we start dropping some poison counters on them. Just some droplets, nothing to worry about. More removal, more removal. Get out of here. Get out of Tinkerer's Cube with your Banishing Slash of Braid. Sigarda's Imprisonment. It only can't attack or block. We are putting poison counters on them until they spend the 5 mana on this. I'm going to play First Fear Gargantua here in Foulmire Knight, aren't I? I believe that's what I'm going to do. First Fear Gargantua, really hope to draw land. But first, let's poison them a little bit. 2 poison counters for you, my friend. And here's the first Gargantua. First ball Gargantua. No land, no Foulmire Knight. Timeless Witness, though, is a great draw. If we hit a land, we can Timeless Witness and Hooded Blightfang in the same turn. It's beautiful. Alright, Sigarda's Imprisonment does get used to exile Fynn. We still have 7 power on board, and they've got none. So we're still looking pretty spicy here. We're going to go ahead and filter this blood token away with an Oni Colt Anvil on board. That is very good. Ooh, the 3 Weird Sisters. You're a really powerful card, but you don't care about Death Touch, so you're not very cool. Play Undead Butler and Timeless Witness in the same turn. But I really want to wait for Timeless Witness till I have the land to play her and the 3-drop at the same time. We can go... Yeah, we can go 3 Weird Sisters, draw a card, and get an Undead Butler here, or get a Foulmire Knight, one of those. I think we go Foulmire Knight because we can kill their 1/1 in the end step, if we need to. But I have to play 3 Weird Sisters pre-combat in order to get her card draw here. I should say probably just chump block. Ooh, there's the land. So next turn we do have Timeless Witness into the 3-drop. So they probably chump block here because they know our Goshintai can kill their 1/1 in the end step anyway. And there is the chump block. Drain us for 1 life. Yep. Alright. Drop our land. Guess I'm actually going to go Undead Butler over the Foulmire Knight because Undead Butler works really well with the 3 Weird Sisters sacrifice effect, where she'll force each player to sacrifice a creature, and we can sacrifice the Undead Butler, obviously, so we can bring back our whatever creature we want next turn. We can bring back Hooded Blightfang and whatever we want off Timeless Witness. Cataclysmic Gearhulk. Alright, well, we'll keep the Weird Sisters. We'll use Undead Butler to bring back something from our grave. We get an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker to stay on the board. So here's... Can I go, this is my creature, this is my enchantment? Yes. Okay, that's spicy. Yeah, now the creatures that died are just fine because we've got one that unearths and one that picks up a creature from the grave here. Pick up the Blight Fang. That's really cool. All right. Ooh, Liliana's Reaver is the draw too. So we're definitely going to Blight Fang. And then I think that I will Timeless Witness because I'd like to make them sack the Gear Hulk here. So we'll sack our Timeless Witness. Pick up, I guess, Grim Dancer. I don't really want to mill myself more at this point. Another Mire Triton, and I'd like Gargantua to stay in the grave for its effect. Cool. And then next turn we get to flip the 3 Weird Sisters into the Fiends of Darkest Night. And that's probably lethal with Hooded Blightfang. Because the Fiends can also buff our whole board because they can buff all our Death Touchers. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hooded Blightfang's trigger would be 7, 8, 9 without even buffing once. But they're shredded sails. Our opponents certainly, they're just chock full of removal. Ooh, Circuit Mender's really nice with Oni Cult Anvil as well. Well, Circuit Mender's a little annoying. I like Gargantua here, draw a card. Play our Liliana's Reaver because that's pretty big and juicy, pretty spicy. Ooh, Briarbridge Tracker's also spicy. But I think I'm going to play Liliana's Reaver and Foulmire Knight. Spread the board wide, get a lot of life drain out of Hooded Blightfang's trigger. No blocks there, that's actually pretty interesting. They didn't want to chump block, draw a card, drain us for life. Alright, so now they went ahead and used the Oni Cult Anvil. Just jam in. Should be lethal. 1 card in their hand. And that is the concession. That's 1-0 so far for the Death Touch deck. Alright, we're on the play here. In game 2, Foulmire Knight, Mire Triton, definite keep. I think I'm going to go for the card draw on Foulmire Knight. Always get greedy with that card. Let's get our second black source with a double black card in hand. Just play Forsaken Crossroads, turn 1, Mire Triton, turn 2. And that is a 4th mana, which we will need for Go Shintai and Contract Killing. However, now we're going to have triple black. That's a bit awkward. Still going to keep it on top, though. Ooh, Doomed Traveler. Our Mire Triton has looked really bad these first 2 games. Opponents just dropping 1/1s down, making me cry. Well, we do have a turn 3 Yuan-Ti Fangblade here, which can attack into a 1/1 well enough. Opponent is on Boros. Usher of the Fallen, well, that makes Yuan-Ti Fangblade look pretty bad. This is the problem with having just nothing but Death Touch creatures. They tend to be a little below the curve in terms of power and toughness, so they can get walled off pretty easy by just like 1 mana cards. Our opponent did go ahead and rip apart our Yuan-Ti Fangblade, though, so at least that's one removal spell down. Uh-oh. We've drawn our Artifact and Enchantment Hate this game, and it doesn't look good in this matchup, even though it looked great in the last matchup. We'll see. Maybe this will do something as the game progresses. For now, we can go ahead and draw a card, and then cast Foulmire Knight here. Ooh, or Forsworn Paladin. Yeah, 1/1 Death Toucher doesn't really matter much against a 1-1 and a 2-1. Let's get the Paladin down. It has better effects on the board. Giving us treasure tokens. Turn 4 from the Boros deck. They drop Nahiri, Heir of the Ancients, and I'm horrified.
I am Zendikar's one true guardian.
Can't really get in. And all their creatures are warriors. Oh no, they just have one warrior. She deals damage target equal to twice the number of warriors and equipment you control. So just 2 damage. Alright. Yeah, that's pretty good. Get to use her as a removal spell here. Our Goshintai is going to be really good when we hit our 5th mana. And we did. Beautiful. So Nahiri can only +1 next turn, which is just make a 1-1. But it's a 1-1 warrior, which is an issue. Yeah, I think we just play Goshintai, we kill the Usher of the Fallen. And we can use our Goshintai to keep killing whatever 1-1s they make. Not killing the Doom Traveler because it gives them a spirit when it dies. That's why it's so good against like our Mire Triton. It's like a 2-for-1 for 1 mana against a 2-1. That's a lot of numbers. I don't know if that statement made any sense. A 2-for-1 for 1 against a 2-1. Magic is a ridiculous game. Heliod into Lantern Flare is really not cool. Not cool at all. But you know what is cool? Masked Vandal against Heliod. Because that's an indestructible enchantment, but it can still get exiled. So I shall. I still only have 1 green source, though. The Forsaken Crossroads on black has not panned out. There were some awkward draws after that. I guess we could contract killing Doom Traveler. No, they still get a spirit there. Yeah, no. Nahiri's just gonna go to town here because we can't get past their tiny creatures. Do I play Briarbridge Tracker instead so I can just sack the clue and draw a card and hope for the best? Because Heliod doesn't actually do that much by his lonesome right now. Gains them a little bit of life, maybe gets them 1 more +1/+1 counter next turn. I've got a Death Toucher to block with. Yeah, we need to find a way to chip into this Nahiri. So let's just draw a card. Well, there's the next green source. Yeah, we don't need to deal with Heliod immediately. We just need to deal with him eventually. Another 1-1 from Nahiri. And Heroic Reinforcements. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh gosh. Oh dear. Well, Mire Triton will never in 1,000 years get through a bunch of 1-1s, so we'll just trade it into a 2-2, I guess. Now we exile Heliod. Is this an instant? No, it's a sorcery. And they put some low power removal in this cube. That is for sure. I feel like Mire Triton's the weakest in our grave. We'll get rid of that. Get rid of Heliod. So now all we have to worry about is the Planeswalker that keeps spitting out an army to hide behind. We get to kill 2 of their 1-1s if we attack Nahiri. They block with all of them. We choose to not kill Doomed Traveler. And then we only have a 1-3 attacking Nahiri, which means we're never going to get in still. So Briarbridge Tracker is probably just better on defense than it is sending it in, because all we're doing is killing 2 1-1 tokens. Oh, Nahiri.
We will protect my home.
I don't even know if we have any Destroy a Planeswalker cards in our deck. I don't think we do. I think we just fold to Nahiri. Ooh, Reaper's Talisman does not change that at all. Because their whole field's 1-1s anyway, so we don't... Death Touch doesn't change anything. Does let us drain them for life, I guess. Which is cool. But yeah, we give our 2-3 Death Toucher and it still trades into 2 1-1s. Because it only does 2 damage one apiece. I don't know. We get to make the most of our mana here. Sure, let's get rid of 2 1/1s. Alright, this is definitely not killing Doomed Traveler. What have you got, opponent? 3 cards in hand, 5 mana up in the Boros deck. All they really have to do to win is just keep plussing Nahiri for 1/1s. I'm actually happy to see a minus Nahiri. That's basically... that's as much loyalty as getting 3 1/1s.
I believe in you.
Yeah, we just can't beat Planeswalkers with this deck. I'm just going to scoop it up here. I mean, I should just scoop it up here. A lot of people are disappointed if I quote-unquote preemptively scoop, but there's no possible way we win. I feel like. I don't know. I am recording. I'll stick it out for now, but if I weren't recording, I would have scooped probably a while ago. I don't think there's any shot. I actually need Death Touch against a bunch of 1/1s. Grim Dancer, I guess. It's one of our best draws. Because it actually kills 3 1/1s. Probably gives us a bigger shot than just about anything else. Need 6 loyalty to remove something with this? Yeah, -6 to exile a non-land permanent. So they can exile Grim Dancer next turn. Oh, Combustible Gear Hulk too? Oh, well, we can blow that up. No, you're not going to draw cards. Mill them. Alright, they do 3 damage to me because they milled a 3 mana card. Now Gideon's coming in. Gideon's indestructible though. Sure, we'll take 4. Alright, another land. Blow up the Gear Hulk, otherwise they can first strike on a double block. Do I have to send Grim Dancer at Gideon now? I don't think it matters where I send it. They're probably trading 3 1/1s in here. We are whittling down the board. I think we have to send it to Gideon. That way, if they don't block, we can keep our Grim Dancer. But they're definitely triple blocking. Yep. I would actually really like to see a Planeswalker-less cube on Arena sometime.
Your light will cleave.
Never been a huge fan of Planeswalker's effects in Limited. War of the Spark was fun because they had a bunch of uncommon ones, and I feel like they did a pretty good job powering them down there. But I don't know, playing with or against Planeswalkers in Limited has never just felt great to me. Hey, we can destroy 1 Planeswalker now. I mean, just, what do we do? Like, we can kill Nahiri, so maybe we can start chipping in now. Because they'll stop getting infinite 1/1s, but Gideon's just going to kill us. Just keep, if it keeps hitting us for 4, plus it exiles whatever they want. Now they've got Lizard Blades too. They can put Lizard Blades on Gideon and attack with an 8/8 indestructible. We have to shoot Gideon. As annoying as Nahiri's been. Guess we get rid of a couple 1/1s here. Slow down our death. I think we might actually have outs, like our Eternal Witness type card would be pretty big. Okay, we don't have outs. They can now have a double striking 7/7. Double strike meaning it does first strike damage, so none of our death touch blockers will matter. First Sphere Gargantua is big though. That's a big creature that draws us a card when it hits the board. But I think Blackblade was a bigger draw for sure. We're technically alive still. Technically alive for one more turn. Restoration Angel. I don't think there's any reason to flicker anything. So it's just a 3/4 flyer. Got the mana to give that double strike. Or +7/+7. If they give it +7/+7, we're dead. They put Blackblade onto it and attack all and we die. But they don't have the mana to, because that costs 7 mana to move. Yeah, it costs 7 to equip. They would have needed 1 more mana to do that. So we have to chump block. We'll chump block with the Gargantua because we can recast it from the grave. Well, maybe we have the slightest chance of finding lethal. We're dealing 7. No, they're at 17. There's no way we draw into a way to do 10 damage here. Yeah, no, I think we chump with Gargantua because it gives us another card draw next turn. Out of the grave. I was going to say, and they haven't gone their 1/1 yet. So Gargantua wasn't even going to get in.
I welcome new allies.
Oh boy. Alright, Gargantua. Show me the money. It's a little too late for Fynn, unfortunately. That is going to be game. But I stuck it out to the very end. I don't know if it was worth it. But we weren't as dead as I thought I was when I wanted to scoop. We did deal with one of the Planeswalkers. That was something. But 1-1 it'll be as we head into Game 3. Game 3, we've got a pretty bad hand here. Mono black, only 2 lands. But Blood Fountain can discard a First Sphere Gargantua, trying to draw us into some more lands. Hopefully a green source. Plus we can unearth the Gargantua. I think with the Blood Fountain I'm going to keep this. Very close to unkeepable, but Blood Fountain does a lot of work for us, especially with First Sphere Gargantua for the synergy there. So fingers crossed on this one. Gutter Bones, turn 1 from our opponent. Forsworn Paladin is the draw. Alright, what do we got? Blood Fountain. Do we have our green source? We do not. We do not have a land at all, but we do have a card that we can cycle. So we can cycle this Wilt as well, trying to hit the next mana. We could trade here, but they can get that back later, and I do need the potential treasure tokens if we can't hit the green source naturally. Alright. There's a green source. We were on the play, though, so it comes into play tapped. Yeah, that's pretty good. We probably play that and make a treasure. Foulmire Knight. Not really the time. We do want 4th mana for Reaver and Twisted Embrace and all that. See what colors our opponent are now that they're cracking their Fabled Passage. Black-red makes a lot of sense with Gutter Bones, one of the recurable little threats. We're going to be using the Paladin for a treasure token here. Alright, take 2 from Gutter Bones. Drop a Dragon's Rage Channeler, scary little 1/1. Once they hit Delirium, it's a 3/3 flyer, which is really scary. And they surveil every time they cast non-creature. Very powerful card for 1 mana. Got 4 mana now. Can drop Liliana's Reaver. Twisted Embrace the Channeler, I guess? Doesn't seem necessary. I think I'm just dropping Liliana's Reaver. Just attack for 1 this time. Since we've got Menace, no mana to make any more treasure. Welding Sparks. Goodbye, Liliana's Reaver. You tried, my friend. But the red decks have too much cheap burn. We are down to 12. We're just getting beaten up here. Do you want to just drop a 1/3? Maybe. It's a little aggressive, but I'm going to pay a life to draw a card again. Alright, well, we do have double green to just play a 1/3 here. So I think we shall. One 3 is a super solid blocker against their board. And we still have a wilt if they play some artifacts or enchantments. I do want to mention our artifact enchantment removal did end up looking pretty good last game too. We got to exile a Heliod. They played a Black Blade and a Lizard Blade. So I think I still stand by. Artifact enchantment removal has looked pretty spicy every game. This is the first game now that we haven't seen an artifact or enchantment yet. Unfortunately, Dragon's Rage Channeler has popped off, so we are definitely going to want to Twisted Embrace that now. Ooh, we do get Fynn, which is a 1/3 on the ground. We can play Fynn and Twisted Embrace thanks to our treasure token. Because they have a treasure token, they can use Fairy Spawn to make us sacrifice a creature, make us sacrifice a Forsworn Paladin, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to hold Paladin as a blocker now. We're at 6. Rakdos deck just put in the works with just a couple cheap creatures and some cheap removal to follow them up with. They've got the 6 mana for Fairy's Spawn, even if they don't sack the treasure now. They go for Breya's Apprentice, gives them a 1/1 flyer, 3 mana for a 2/3 and a 1/1 flyer, and a flexible sack ability is a pretty powerful card. Oh no, and Seasoned Pyromancer. Another very strong card there. 2/2 and a 1/1. Now their board is super wide. We've just kind of got our random Death Touchers. We're doing our own cute little things here, but I don't think they're enough. Well, there's the artifacts to blow up. Breya's Apprentice, I guess. So we blow it up and play a Fangblade, I guess. Might even have to blow up the flyer, though. Probably supposed to blow up the flyer. I don't know. They can sack an artifact to give a creature +2/+0. So if I blow up the flyer, they can just give an unblocked creature +2/+0 by sacking their treasure. No, it's got to be Apprentice. Alright, Rakdos aggro, I'm ready to die. Show me the money. Double bolt me. Okay, Falconwrath Noble. Ooh, into Slaughter Priest. Okay. Yeah, there's no shot at survival. Falconwrath Noble's going to drain us for life whenever any creature dies. And we've got land. Nope, that is game. They just attack all next turn. We're at 5 life. Not only do they have basically lethal on board without their static abilities, but they have the ability to sacrifice whatever they need to Slaughter Priest to trigger Falconwrath Noble's static ability more times. Or its triggered ability more times. Incredibly dead next turn. 2-2 it is. We head into round 5. 1-2 actually. Let me correct myself. Alright, here we are in the deciding round whether we 1-3 and out or we've got a chance of greatness. I highly doubt it. The Death Touch deck seems pretty cute, but definitely has not been panning out. Our creatures are all a bit below curve. Players can easily go wide around us. That was basically our 2 losses was people going really wide around our stuff. The Rakdos deck got a bunch of tokens because they were a sacrifice shell, and the Boros deck just had a Nahiri that could give them a token every turn, so just making a 1/1 every turn is pretty good against a bunch of just Death Touch creatures, because Death Touch doesn't really do anything against 1/1s, because 1 damage would kill them anyway. Varus, Silvery Moon Ranger. They can trade that for Cap Attack Wrecker, or they can let us exile their Throne of Death. So I believe we just get the trade-off here. No. Alright, exile the Throne of Death then. Just get that out of here. And then we'll play a Grim Dancer. We'll make it Death Touch Menace against a green deck. This seems like the most powerful configuration we can hit because it'll force them to double block to kill it. And if they double block, we get to kill like a couple 3/3s. Get to make good use out of the Death Touch ability. There's a Discerning Taste from our opponent. Look at the top 4 cards of the library. Put 1 into the graveyard. Gain life equal to the greatest power. No, they put 1 in a hand, rest in the grave. They only had a 1 power creature, so they just gain 1 life. There's 3 Weird Sisters. That's beautiful. We can now sack Cap Attack Wrecker to trade for Varus since it's no longer of much use to us. This has been a really good curve for us. Grim Dancer's just getting in there. There's a Mire Triton from our opponent. Get to drop our Liliana's Reaver this turn. That's probably the play, but we'll see what we draw into. Another land, that is definitely the play. Six mana from our opponent, Dreadhound it is. Could make us lose some life. We've got nice Menace and Flying Death Touchers here. Super spicy stuff. Now we have Timeless Witness, so whoever dies can just come right back. I don't think there's a huge reason to go for the Reaper's Talisman here. Although Reaper's Talisman, Timeless Witness, that's probably how we're spending all of our mana, so we may as well. And we'll throw it on the flyer so we can not have to move it again in the future. Alright, they're going to go for the single trade, Dreadhound for Liliana's Reaver rather than the double block trade. Okay, Mire Triton for Reaver. Use their Death Touch there. They're down to 9, and here is going to be Timeless Witness. Pick up that Reaver again. I'm not picking up the Cap Attack Wrecker because we got Masked Vandal to get rid of artifacts or enchantments if that's what they go for. Archfiend of Sorrow is not bad here. Kills Timeless Witness. But the rest of our board's going to be a-okay. Oh, they're going to jam in with Dreadhound. Alright, aggressive. I like it. So, can't get rid of the Archfiend before we send in with Fiends of Darkest Night. We drain them for 2. Oh, if we attack alone. I keep misreading that. Do we just move the Reaper Talisman to Grim Dancer and attack alone this turn then? Because it's got Menace? I think we do. We can do 1 more damage with Fiends. It's not going to be quite lethal, so just do that much. Drop the Reaver. And drop our land. They are at 4. I think we just start using Reaper's Talisman. We just attack them twice with something that has Reaper's Talisman on it. We force a double block here. Or they die, because it's got Menace. Cool. Now they can unearth that for 5, give all our creatures -2/-2, so let's not play anything with 2 or less toughness. We don't have anything with 2 or less toughness anyway. Just drop Timeless Witness. Pick up Grim Dancer. Alright, they're going to draw a card off Bonder's Enclave, looking for some outs. Roaring Earth. Pass the turn, scoop them up. That is going to be 2 and 2. So now, even if I lose this next game, this Golgari Death Touch deck is going to hit my Tinkerer's Cube average this time around, which is unfortunately just like 2-3 every time. Just trying to be too cute with it. But I will be incredibly happy if we can get just one more win here, because beating my Tinkerer's Cube video record of 2-3 in each draft would be super great if we get to do that with just the Golgari Death Touch strategy. Alright, here we are on the play. Reaper's Talisman on a Menace creature. That's going to be pretty disgusting. See if this could be our game. This is the one. 3-3 or better? Or do we just keep 2-3ing Tinkerer's Cube? Just can't get out of the pit of doom. Legion's Landing's pretty annoying. Get a 1-1 lifelinker and potentially get just a ton more lifelinkers later, because it'll flip into the fort. Definitely looking to draw some more action. Just got a couple of removal spells here, which are not great against a deck with a bunch of 1-1s and 2-2s. Just need some more creatures of our own. Our 2-3s, our 1-3s, anything like that. There's a 2-3. Ask and you shall receive today. Super happy with that. Excellent draw here. Poet's Quill. So they get to learn a lesson, and then they get to equip this to one of their creatures, make it +1/+1 and lifelink. So 3/3 lifelink kind of thing, that's going to be a big deal. 3 Weird Sisters isn't very good here. It is just a strong card, and I don't want to cast removal right now anyway. So I think we drop it down. Yeah, I think we drop it down. We have to do it pre-combat in order to draw the card off of it, but I think we draw the card off of it right now. But the sack effect doesn't look like it's going to do much this game. I want to trade this for their 2 creatures. I'm pretty okay with that. Alright, no blocks it is then. Naomi, Pillar of Order. Go ahead and get a 2-2, so they've got a lot of blockers on the ground. Masked Vandal's a good draw if we can get a creature into our graveyard. I think we want to just blow up Naomi here and then attack with a flying flipped Fiends of Darkest Night. Could even use the treasure tokens to move the Reaper Talismans. That's really exciting to me, because that's going to be a lot of damage. I think that's worth it. They do have that Poet's Quill. They can put that onto their Vigilant Samurai now and gain 4 life off this attack. Attacking with a Samurai and a 1-1 lifelinker. I would love to Masked Vandal the Poet's Quill. I think that's going to be the most important card to kill, so we're definitely chump blocking if they send anything in here, just to get our Forsworn Paladin into our graveyard. I think. Or maybe Briarbridge Tracker into the grave so we can use Forsworn Paladin's pump effect to make Fiends of Darkest Night big enough to finish off the game, if they don't have removal here. Angel of Invention. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and play a flyer here, so that they have a blocker for the Fiends in the sky. So, if we just Twisted Embrace Angel of Invention, we just win, right? I believe that's how it is here, so we can just take the 6. And then Twisted Embrace on Fiends. Blow up the 1 flyer, attack for 6. Because of the Reaper's Talisman trigger. Yep, that'll be exact season 3-2. It'll be the best record I've gotten so far this time around in the Tinkerer's Cube. Just have had some pretty weak results overall. Haven't really found my footing with this cube yet, but super happy to just go at least 3-3 with this weird little Golgari Death Touch deck. That's pretty fun, and that is pretty sweet. And yeah, let's see if we can't keep it up. Maybe get higher than 3-3 here. Make up for the early 2-3s. We'll see what happens, but I'm happy no matter what now as we head into round 6. All right, always gonna keep my 2-color hands. We've got our 1-drops as well, which is sweet. This would be incredible if our opponent drops an artifact or enchantment turn 2, because then with the Menace we definitely get our Kappa-Tech Wrecker in. We do play Charming Prince. Not an artifact or enchantment, just scries 2 when it hits the board, and they are on Boros. Did not have a great time against Boros last game. We'll see if we can change that up this time. Do I want to play a 1-3 Death Toucher just so Charming Prince can't really hit us? Yeah, Boros is a pretty aggressive color pair. I'm actually kind of okay with that, especially since we again have that Wilt backup. So if we really need to blow up an artifact or enchantment, we still can. And I'm always going to mention it because I just really like naturalizing this cube last round. We were playing against Poet's Quill and another enchantment. There were targets for our naturalize effects again. Kindly Ancestor. I guess they can double block our Kappa-Tech Wrecker now. Could buff it with Forsworn Paladin and kill both their creatures. But there's no reason to attack in, really. We're just doing 1 damage, so let's probably just draw the card off Felmire Knight at instant speed. Just pass the turn here. Just chill, just hang out. How's it going, opponent? How's it going, Jaya? I do like the windmill on this plains, even though these old border lands are pretty hard to see the color of from a distance on Arena. IRL, it's not hard because they have the giant, mana box below where it says, white and red. They don't have that on Arena, so they just all look brown until you zoom in. I guess I'm one to talk. I do have the mountain swamps. Everybody seems to have an issue thinking these swamps are mountains, but I don't know. I guess I'm like the only player that, I don't know, just with the big black symbol right here, I have 0 issues with it. And I think they're very pretty. But whenever I remember, I specifically swap that out for a different one when I can. Give a creature first strike till end of turn? That's really irritating. Forgot Wandering Emperor's in this cube. I don't understand why, because it's one of the strongest cards in Standard overall. This cube is chocked full of just like synergy cards like Kappa-Tech Wrecker that are pretty whatever. But then there's like Wandering Emperor. It's like, Jesus Christ, okay. Alright, Arena. I guess just because it's new, they want to show it off. I think we just got to kill the Wandering Emperor here. Because that card is insane. It's got to be easily top 5 most powerful cards in the cube. And the cube is including a bunch of older cards as well. I think Wandering Emperor is just quickly competing for like one of the top 10 planeswalkers of all time. She is very good. Heroic Reinforcements. Yep, that's pretty rude. Down to 6. 2 blockers here. If they have another Anthem style effect, we are going to be pretty dead. So hopefully not that. But otherwise we just take 1 here. We kill both of their bigger creatures. Alright, cheap removal. And another Anthem effect. Yeah, we're dead. Rough. That's a brutal Boros deck. Really good deck from our opponent here. No way our Death Touch Tribal fun stuff is going to do anything to leave a mark on that. Alright, well, 3 and 3 it is. I would say a rough time for the Golgari Death Touch Tribal deck, but it had a better time than any other deck that we've drafted, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool, because it's a weird theme. It's a weird theme, and I don't think there's enough just like synergistic supports for it to be super good. Because we had the 2 big ones, right? We had Hooded Blightfang and Fynn. We actually had the 3 big ones. I guess Fiends of Darkest Night is like a theoretical Death Touch build around, even though it's just a good card in general. But theoretically, you can buff your whole Death Touch field with it. But yeah, this was a really cool, really fun deck. I'm pretty happy with it. 3 and 3. Not great, but not bad this time around, which is more than I can say for our other Tinkerer's Cube drafts. Hopefully we're starting to get a bit of a grasp on the format, because now we are getting slightly better results. We'll see. Maybe we are, maybe we're not. We'll have to see next Tinkerer's Cube draft. But for today, that is going to end this Tinkerer's Cube draft. As always, if you'd like to see more of these videos, just stick around, like, comment, and subscribe to let the YouTube algorithm know to send you some more of these videos in your notification feeds. And as always, thank you all again for watching, and I will see you yet again very soon for some more Magic Arena.